Any cross-examination?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Did George know somebody named Crystal? Did you ever mention Crystal in your text messages about being one of his bitches?
I don't know. I don't remember.
How about Christine? Did George know a Christine?
I don't know.
How about a Pamela Erickson?
These may have been people that he was communicating with on whatever the platform was.
On your phone?
I believe so, yes.
And did you find these communications?
I believe I found one or two of them from some of them.
And did you send a long letter to his family to relay to him about George and his girls that he was cheating on you with?
I believe so.
Okay, so you do know those names, right?
I don't remember them. It's been however long.
Okay. Now, on February 24th, 2020, you called 911 at about 1 p.m., correct?
Yes.
And at that point, you were still feeling a little intoxicated, were you not?
It was more shock, but yes.
So you agree that you previously stated, I was still, I believe, intoxicated to a degree?
To a degree, yes.
So 1 p.m., it's about 14 hours after 11 p.m. the night before, correct?
I'm guessing so.
Well, 12 hours prior would be 1 a.m., and then 12 a.m. is 13 hours, 11 p.m. is 14 hours, correct?
Okay.
And you were present here for the medical examiner, Dr. Zadovich, to testify, correct?
Yes.
And you heard her talk about all the effects of ethanol that it has on the human body, correct?
Yes.
And she also mentioned something that it, on average, dissipates at about 0.015 an hour. Do you recall that?
I believe so.
Okay. So would it be fair to say that if you're still feeling the effects of the alcohol at 1 p.m., so that's 14 hours, 0.015, you were at approximately about a 0.21 at 11 p.m. the night before. Do you feel like you were 2.5 times the legal limit at that time?
I don't know how you came to that number.
Judge, I'm going to object.
Roach.
Who's Crystal? What about a Christine? Pamela Erickson, you know who that is? Oh my goodness, wouldn't it be funny if these women came up to testify? Oh, they don't need them. But that's why she texted his family. That's why she was so angry. See, aren't y'all glad y'all hung out and didn't leave and didn't get mad and leave? Because a lot of people left because they were getting mad watching this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mambo number 5. Yes, sir. Oh, ba-ba-da-ba-da-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-da. Tequila. Look at her face. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. It's the same facial expression because she doesn't know how to change it. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da-da-da. Are you ready for the ride, Sarah? Buckle up. Please keep your hands in the vehicle at all times.
You may proceed.
So you testified earlier that you all had about half of one of these bottles left from the night before, correct?
Yes.
And so would you agree that this is one of the 3 bottles that was purchased between February 22nd and the 2 that were purchased on February 23rd of 2020?
I'm guessing maybe it's like the bottle, yes.
All right, and it's 1.5 liters. Would you agree? And when you say half, are we talking about to the top of the label was left from the day before?
Oh goodness, no.
All right, a little less, halfway through the label?
It's right about.
Okay, about halfway through the label. So in addition to halfway through the label, which you began consuming after going to public at about 12:15, correct?
Yeah.
So you all would have began consuming around 12:30, is it fair to say when you got that?
I can't tell exactly.
Okay. And after finishing what you all had left over from Saturday, the two of you consumed two 1.5 liter bottles, correct?
I'm not sure about the second bottle that he purchased, if it was empty or not at the time.
Well, you did mention that the police would find two empty bottles in the top of your trash, correct?
Yes.
And we did all see that in the photographs, correct?
See that they
Two.
were empty in the garbage, yes.
All right, and you say you were about 100 pounds at the time?
Yes.
And we all know Mr. Torrez was 103 pounds at the time of his death, correct?
That's what he said.
All right, so that's 3 liters of wine between 200 pounds split between 2 people over the course of a day, correct?
Yes.
And you testified today that you were intoxicated at the time that this occurred, the videos between 11 and 11:30 at night, correct?
Yes, at some level, yes.
Now, what does that mean to you? Previously, have you indicated that that means the room is spinning? Do you ever recall saying that?
I do.
So what was your level of intoxication at this point in time when the first video was filmed at 11:12 p.m.?
Do you mean from lack of sleep or alcohol?
From the alcohol.
Oh,
What was my level?
What were you feeling? Did you have trouble with your balance?
I was more tired than anything.
Did you have trouble with your balance?
I don't believe so.
So you were able to flip a suitcase over with a 100-pound man in it, right?
I mean, yes, it happened,
Okay. How about your speech? Do you feel like your speech was slurred?
clearly.
How about your inhibitions? Do you feel like you were doing things that you wouldn't do when you were sober?
I wasn't thinking about that.
Well, on reflection, do you feel like this is something you would have done when you were sober?
I didn't know me and George.
I'm just asking you, looking back on this, when he's in the suitcase and you're telling him how you feel, and then you wait 11 minutes and you film another 22 seconds, and then you go upstairs, upon reflection, is that something you would have done and left him in there had you not been drinking?
I don't know. I can't say.
Okay.
If I was scared, then it would be something.
All right, now, today you testified about the time frame between the 2 videos, correct?
Yes.
So you came down from the shower where you were hiding, correct?
Yes.
And as you're coming down the stairs, before you even get to the bottom of the stairs, you can kind of see over your shoulder or towards your right that he's trying to hide in the suitcase, correct?
Yes.
And the lid is down, but it's not closed, and you can tell he's hiding in there. It's not a great hiding spot just yet, right?
Correct.
And so you come over to him, and you're laughing, right?
Yes.
And you move the suitcase around some before zipping it shut, right?
No.
No? You immediately zip it shut?
Yes.
Okay. And you're both still laughing about it, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then it's during this course of time, how quickly is it after you zip it shut that you begin filming the first video?
I don't know without watching it. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, the video is not going to catch you zipping him up because you're like 10 feet away, right? How quickly after you zip him up is it before the video starts is my question.
I don't know.
Okay. And then during that 9 minutes and 14 seconds is when he begins to get angry, correct?
What 9 minutes?
Between the 2 videos, there's 9 minutes and 14 seconds between the end of 1061 and the beginning of 1062 and 1063. So you got the 2 minute 3-second video that starts at 11:12:45, correct?
I guess.
Permission to use state 17?
You may.
He tricked her into admitting that she zipped it up immediately. This is going to be too easy for him. He just has to keep going. Play it again, play it again, play it again.
All right, so we're looking at entry 31107. That indicates, according to the phone extraction, 2/23/2020, 11:12:45 p.m. Image _ 1062 movie begins being captured. You've seen that that is about 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Entry 31113 indicates that image _ 1063.move
I'll take a peppermint, thank you.
I was disconnected.
What flavor Pop-Tarts did you guys bring? I need something sweet. It's getting a little sour in here. Pass a Pop-Tart, please.
Okay. 31113, a second movie is captured at 11:23:03 p.m. Your testimony was that after that first video was captured by your phone and you, Mr. Torrez began getting angry and trying to push his way out, correct?
Say it one more time, please.
Between these two movies, of which there's about 9 minutes and 14 seconds, Mr. Torrez begins to get angry and try and push his way out and get out of the suitcase, correct?
He had been angry on and off throughout the entire day.
Okay. You didn't tell us that earlier. You said it was a wonderful, fun day all day, correct?
It was a good
I lived.
day.
You did not tell us earlier today that he had been angry throughout the day.
When would I say that?
You described your entire day of doing puzzles, and arts and crafts, and outside by the dartboard, and you said it was a wonderful day and everything was fun until he was in the suitcase. Did you not testify to that earlier today?
I did.
Okay. My specific question between these two movies is, this is when he begins to get angry and trying to push his way out and to get out of the suitcase, correct?
Angry again, yes.
And he was expressing his anger in what manner? How did he say this?
At which point throughout the day?
Ma'am, you know very well that I'm talking about between these movies. Please answer my question.
Oh.
Between these two movies, how did he express his anger with you?
Told me that I was going to fucking die.
Okay. Now this is happening after he's already told you several times he cannot breathe in the suitcase, correct?
Correct.
And he's been in there for whatever brief amount of time it took you to zip him up, and the laughter stops, and then you go over and begin to film, correct? And you're filming. Your purpose of filming is to kind of teach him a lesson. This is your chance to say something to him when he can't say anything back to you, correct?
No,
Then correct me.
there was no lesson to be learned. It was just, I wanted him to try to understand how I felt, so maybe he could progress in being a better person the next day.
So you wanted him to understand how you felt in the past, and that's not teaching a lesson?
I just wanted him to understand.
All right, and so immediately prior to zipping him up and putting him into the movie, you had been upstairs, correct?
I'm sorry?
Immediately before coming down and zipping him up and then filming the first of the two movies, you had been upstairs in the shower, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to publish what has been labeled as image_1061, which according to the timeline was captured at 11:03 p.m. 31 seconds with her device. All right. Does this appear to be the suitcase that's in question in the two movies that are filmed at 11:12 and 11:23 p.m.? Oh. This is image 1061 taken at 11:03 p.m. 31 seconds. Does this appear to be the blue suitcase that's in the two videos that were captured at 11:12 and 11:23 p.m.?
Correct.
Did you take this image at 11:03 p.m.?
I don't remember if I did or not.
And again, we had, and by we, I mean you and Mr. Torrez, two 1.5 liters bottles of wine and plus whatever was left over from the day before, correct?
That's correct.
So you don't remember taking this photograph?
I don't.
Do you remember whether or not Mr. Torrez was in here?
I don't remember taking the photo.
Okay. So what is your memory of what happens between 11:03 p.m. and 31 seconds when that image is captured, and then when the movie starts at 11:12:45? What do you remember?
I don't.
Do you remember anything from that night?
I do.
You told the police on February 25th, 2020, when they first showed you the video, that you didn't remember taking that. You remember that?
I do.
And your testimony is you do remember taking that video,
I do.
but you don't remember taking that photograph 9 minutes prior.
Correct.
Is there something, did you have more to drink in those 9 minutes?
I did not.
Was Mr. Torrez in that suitcase the entire time between 11:03 when that image was taken and then when the second video was taken at 11:23 p.m.?
I believe so, yes.
So for 20 minutes? Yes?
However long the time frame is,
Did he begin telling you that he couldn't breathe before the video, or do you not remember?
I don't remember.
Now, you testified moments ago that your two neighbors must have misremembered which night the loud noise was, correct?
Yes.
And now you're telling us that you don't remember taking the photograph at 11:03 p.m., correct?
Correct.
Did the police come out to your townhouse on Sunday, February 23rd, 2020?
Yes,
I'm talking about Sunday. This is the Sunday fun day when we're going to Publix twice. Were the police out of your residence?
no,
It was the day after, Monday, the 24th, correct?
yes,
And that Monday morning, you called 911, well, Monday afternoon at about 1 p.m., correct?
yes,
And between that time frame, you were the only person in your apartment plus Mr. Torrez in the suitcase, correct?
yes,
So if anything had been disturbed in your apartment, you had all the time that you wanted to undisturb them before calling 911, correct?
if I wanted to.
Okay. And your testimony is there was no loud boom that shook the walls of your townhouse at about 11 p.m. the night of February 23rd, 2020, correct?
Correct,
To the best of your memory, correct?
correct.
Now, that second video is 22 seconds where you just hear him say Sarah and you don't say anything, or you're familiar with that video, correct?
Yes,
It's after that that you go upstairs, correct?
yes,
How quickly is it that you go upstairs after that?
it was pretty quick.
Can you grab the dogs?
No, the dogs were upstairs already.
Did you call 911 and let the police know that you zipped somebody shut in a suitcase and they had not been able to get out for 20 minutes?
I did not.
Did you go to Brian's house and tell him, I had to zip Mr. Torres up in a suitcase shut? We need to do something about that before he passes.
I believe that's what the phone call was.
Okay. Well, what do you remember now about the phone call with Brian?
I know that I called him. I don't know specifically what it was about.
Now, your testimony, it seems like you spend day after day finding things to entertain Mr. Torres to do, correct?
Yes,
Almost like having a child. You have your own child, correct?
I do.
What you described sounded like having a small child. Would you agree?
That's your interpretation.
Well, you take him from doing arts and crafts to doing puzzles, so on and so forth, correct?
When he's been drinking, yes.
And Mr. Torres was notorious for doing some of these things, correct?
What do you mean?
Well, you described Mr. Torres as being notoriously known for doing things. You described your ex-husband, Brian Boone, notorious for doing things like nagging and calling all the time. You remember your testimony calling people notorious for doing things?
Yes.
What would you say people would say you're notorious for?
I don't know.
Oh,
And you would not answer Brian Boone, your ex-husband's phone calls, just so that you could let him know that you're busy and you have things going on, correct?
I knew that at whatever time it was that he was calling me, that he could wait for the few moments of me getting up to where Liz gets out of school at 3 o'clock.
Okay. But you wouldn't return his call. You would let him call several times, correct?
That day, yes.
Okay. How about other days? Would he have to call to remind you to get Lucas on other days?
He wasn't reminding me. He was just making sure that Lucas was covered for a pickup or drop off.
All right. You didn't mention to the sheriff's office on either February 24th or February 25th about going to Publix with Mr. Torres at noon or 12:17, did you?
I don't recall.
So the best evidence of that would be the recording of those interviews?
Correct.
Did you not remember going to Publix with Mr. Torres that day
At what point?
at any point?
No, I didn't.
You had indicated to the police that it was about 4 p.m. that you all had started drinking after doing chores. You recall that?
I do.
And your testimony today was that it was really more after you guys went to Publix at about 12 to 17 p.m., correct?
Yes,
And you did not tell the truth to police, correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
You did not tell the truth to the police about that, correct?
I did not.
And when they were asking you about Mr. Torres's injuries, you told them that you had nothing to do with it, correct?
Yes,
And that was not the truth.
correct.
What did y'all have for breakfast on the 23rd?
I don't remember.
Did y'all have lunch?
I believe we had leftovers from, I think, something that we had in the fridge.
And do you recall what those were?
Not at this point, no.
And then I believe you mentioned having a sandwich of some sort for dinner.
No, I believe it was for, I'm guessing he and I ate at the same time.
And at one point, Mr. Torres called his brother Juan, correct?
Yes,
And do you admit that you were yelling in the background, telling Mr. Torres to tell his brother that he had been choking you?
I don't know if I was yelling. I know that he could hear me through the phone.
So how long had that been going on that day? When did you start getting on Mr. Torres about choking you in the past?
He and I had conversations about it because he didn't remember doing it to me. And the next day and the day of,
Is it fair to say that there are just points in time where you don't remember what you do either, correct?
are you talking about almost 5 years ago?
I'm talking about from drinking. Is it fair to say that you don't often remember things that you did while you were drinking?
I would not say often.
Okay. In the course of your relationship with Mr. Torres, are there things you don't remember happening that happened the night before between you and him?
I can't say that at this point.
But you said that you don't remember taking that photograph at 11:03 p.m. on February 23rd, correct?
Yes.
Was there anything else that you were telling Mr. Torres that he needed to tell his brother?
Not that I can recall.
Was there anything you were telling him that he needed to tell his daughters?
Not that I can recall.
Now, you indicated that Mr. Torres would use your phone to look at pornography.
Correct.
Were there ever any points in times when it was you that was used looking at pornography?
If I was, it was to go back and look to see.
Did you ever threaten to get Mr. Torres arrested if he did not do what you wanted him to do?
I wouldn't say threaten.
Okay. Well, were there ever points in times where you would like him to call you or return a call? And if he didn't do that, you would threaten to get him arrested?
It depends on if he had my keys or something that I needed from him.
And it was your townhouse, correct?
Mine, yes, plus ours.
Well, When did you get him off the lease?
I'm not sure what year it was, but I don't think he was actually removed from the lease.
Okay.
I think he was made a different type of tenant.
And did you change the locks so that he couldn't get back in at the points of times when you kicked him out?
I did sometimes.
And then would you leave the key in the hiding spot that he was aware of?
There were multiple hiding places.
On any of the 911 calls, did you ever mention that Mr. Torres was aware of where you kept your keys and that's how he got back into the house?
I didn't know I needed to.
Okay.
He would never break into my home.
All right, and it's your testimony that you did not push him down the stairs, correct?
Yes,
And in fact, it was him that dragged you down the stairs the night before, correct?
yes,
Now, by dragged, did you leave your feet?
yes.
And did you get scrapes on your knees or anywhere from the carpet?
I'm not sure.
Did you get any injuries, like bruises or abrasions or scrapes?
I was missing a lot of my hair. Yes, that was on the stairwell.
And you agree that you were photographed on February 24th when the police came out, correct?
The day of the incident?
Well, the afternoon after the incident. We're not sure when he passed.
Yes,
Some of those photographs showed ashtrays inside your house. I thought you said you guys couldn't smoke inside your house,
we couldn't.
but you did, right?
Sometimes, yes.
And you agree you would go to the hospital and tell them things that were not true, correct?
Yes,
There were times where you would go to the hospital and leave without getting treatment, correct?
yes,
And is it fair to say that you often had alcohol in your system when you were going to the hospital, correct?
sometimes.
All right, so just to summarize the day to make sure we understand it. You all wake up sometime in the morning, but it's an unknown time, correct? On February 23rd.
Or early afternoon. Yes, I had a problem with the detectives and them having me guesstimate times.
Okay. Are you the kind of person, like most of us, that uses your phone when you wake up?
No.
So the first activity on your phone may have nothing to do with when you woke up. Is that fair for you?
Yes, other than looking at the time possibly.
Okay. So at some point you wake up, it doesn't sound like you have breakfast, correct?
Correct.
You do some chores, correct?
Yes,
So that is true. That part of it is true. You did do chores before going to Publix at 12:17,
yes,
all right? After chores, you go to Publix and you get that 1.5 liter Magnum bottle of Woodbridge Chardonnay, correct?
I'm not sure what Magnum is.
1.5 liters. Instead of the 750s, it's the double size. It's like 2 bottles of wine.
Okay, yes,
So you got a 1.5 liter, right?
yes, it is the larger bottle.
And you got home and you at 100 pounds and Mr. Torres at 103 pounds began drinking this wine, correct?
I'm guessing so. I'm not going to guess times.
Well, don't guess. I mean, you got home from Publix. When was your first drink?
I'm not sure. I mean, we could have continued to do whatever was left over from what we didn't do before we went to Publix.
Okay. So you may have started drinking even later, correct?
Then
12:30 when you get back from Publix?
I don't know.
Okay. Was it 1:30 or 2:30 when you began drinking?
I don't know.
Was it before any of the phone calls to the brothers and his daughters?
Yes,
And so you drink what's left in the bottle of wine from the day before that's halfway labeled, correct?
at some point.
And then you drink 1.5 liters of wine and he goes out and gets another one on his own without your permission or suggestion about 5:30, correct?
Correct.
And then you all consume that one as well and it ends up in the trash can at the end of the night, correct?
Apparently.
At what point in the night does your memory tape stop? You described that it wasn't on at 11:03 p.m. when that photograph was taken. What's the last thing you actually do remember prior to these videos being made?
I don't recall it at this point. I don't remember.
All right, and so it ends in hide and seek after arts and puzzles, correct? He says, tag, you're it, but you run and go upstairs and hide, right?
Yeah.
So does that mean he's it and he's supposed to come find you?
No.
Okay. So you both hide?
No.
Okay. How does this work?
I don't know how to tell you.
Okay.
I was it, and I went and hid.
I mean, my understanding of the rules of hide and seek is one person will be it, cover his or her eyes and count to like 20 and then go find the person that's hiding. Is that your familiarity with the rules too, or do you guys have house rules?
I understand how the
Okay.
game of hide and seek
So
works.
explain to me, what was your expectation? You go up to the shower. Were you expecting him to come find you?
I was.
Okay. And after a while, he did not come find you.
Yes.
And that's when you return downstairs.
Correct.
And because of the way your townhouse is set up, you can kind of see over where the suitcase is and that he's trying to hide in there, but it's not successfully hidden just yet.
I mean, yes, you have to come down a good ways in order to be able to.
Right.
do that.
Right. But you saw, you testified those before you got to the bottom.
Yes.
And then you come over there and thinking that it's funny, you zip him shut, correct?
Yes, we both thought it was funny.
Okay. And the defendant, stand down.
Entered into the well?
Yes.
Yes.
Go down.
Deputy,
You're the defendant.
we release her into the well, please?
Oh, is he going to put her in the suitcase? Can you please demonstrate to me how you zip the suitcase up? Ah. You notice James Owens didn't demonstrate it. Must have been stuck, the zipper. Uh-huh. He's going to make her unzip it. Cheryl says stop it right now.
All right. Ms. Boone, can you demonstrate for the jury where Mr. Torres' head was and how his body was positioned in the suitcase, if you don't mind?
His back was this way and his head was here.
All right, and then is it fair to say his feet are kind of down here, which would be the front left corner from their perspective in the jury box?
Yes.
And then his knees are kind of tucked up towards his face.
He wasn't facing the zipper.
If I remember correctly, yes, that's the position.
Okay. All right. Can you help me understand how it was that you zipped it shut? Can you show us where you say you left an opening that his hand got out of?
Would it be easier to put it from here?
I didn't want to make you go down there. If you're happy doing that, I'll let you.
Hold up. Does she need to be wearing gloves?
Yes. Agreed. If she's going to be manipulating it.
And then James is going to say, well, the gloves made it harder to open, Judge. I can't even catch y'all's chats. They're going so fast right now. Blanco. Now it's a good. Yes, Blanco, it is.
What do you want her to do?
Just demonstrate how she zipped it shut.
Sit down, Owens. You don't need to be up there. Get out of the way of the jury.
Do you remember which one it was in?
This side.
The pink paper clip was missing, she said. Like, that's going to make a difference from the inside.
Judge, the paperclip was on when this event occurred. When we pulled the suitcase out earlier, the paperclip was not attached. So now the prosecutor has attached the paperclip. We don't know if that's the way it was attached.
It's not even a paper clip.
We
Okay.
don't know if that's the proper way that it was attached, but he's asking her now to pull.
Is there an objection?
Yes?
Approach.
Oh my God, shut up. Laura said, shut up. Did she just not tell him it's missing the thingy or something and he went and got it and put it on there? Sit down, Owens. That is going to be, yeah, that's a good one. Bridget, that's a very good one. He shouldn't be up there like that, but I guess he's allowed, or else would have already told him to sit down. But he's all in that, isn't he? Mm-hmm. The jury's like, wait, the jury's climbing over each other trying to see what's going on because they can't see because of the little wall around the jury box. They're like, wait a minute, what? Oh, what? Show us. It looks like a little pink paper clip is what it looked like. It was some kind of pink wire. I have no idea where else you would get a pink wire because I don't even think those come in like the floral places, the floral wires. I don't know. So her saying it's not even a paper clip, I have no idea what she's talking about. Oh, it's off the chain right now, y'all. I'll stay late for this one. Can you please clear everything out of the way of the camera so that we can see, please? Thank you so much. Sarah's going to sleep so good tonight. We knew he had it in him. We knew Jay had it in him. Yeah, Owens is trying just to create this whole thing to keep this from happening. He's going to make a big deal out of everything. What'd Cheryl say? Bring back the zipper expert. Bring back the zipper expert. We need the CSI lady in here, please. Hey, beautiful disaster. Thank you for becoming a member. Bring back the zipper expert. Did y'all hear how it sounded when you opened it? Have you guys ever had an older suitcase like that made that sound? Because it's such a heavy duty zipper. It's harder to unzip than like a shirt or something because the material, the canvas material, and the way that it's designed to keep the suitcase from falling down on the sides. It's one of those things that it's just, sometimes they even have those little plastic pieces on the corners.
All right.
Overruled.
Madam Court, you ready? Can we see how it was that the two zipper parts were positioned when you say that Mr. Torrez was able to get his hand out? If you want me to do it, I'm fine to take your direction.
From what I remember, this is how the suitcase. This is how the suitcase was. This was up here. This was not this hard either. So this was like here.
Okay.
Oh, I can't get it to shut. Can you put it right there? Because I can't get it to do it. Oh my God.
About right there, ma'am?
Sure.
I assume this one was much closer. It's not over there? Where do you?
You asked me where I zipped it.
When you say that was zipped shut, show us.
Are you talking about how I zipped it or?
When you're done zipping
With
it
the
shut and he's inside of it, where are the zipper components?
Just tell me where it's at.
I mean, it was the corner. I mean, I mean, it's not. Yes, this one was already pretty much. Yes. From what I can remember. That's how he was coming with his hand out. It was like this from the corner.
Okay. Thank you. You can return to your seat. Did you ever change the position of those zippers once you put it in that position?
I did not.
Yes, Margaret, please show Owens his seat. Thank you so much.
And so once he was zipped into there, there's some amount of time, but you don't remember specifically before you start taking the 2-minute video, correct?
Yes.
And then that's when you say what you say, and that's when he says what he says. We've all heard it, correct? And then between there and that second video of the 22 seconds length, it's at this point where he's beginning to get angry. And then that's when you take the baseball bat that's in evidence, and your testimony is start poking him with the end of it.
Did you say this was the second video?
Between the two videos, that's when you started hitting with the bat because he was getting angry and trying to escape, correct?
Right, I was not hitting him. I was, yes.
Okay. Did you ever hit him with the bat while he was outside of the suitcase?
No.
So each time that he is hit with the bat, it's through this suitcase. And that's what leaves the marks on him because you didn't hit him with the bat outside the suitcase, correct?
Yes, if you'd like me to demonstrate.
No, that's okay. The suitcase will speak for itself. And then you take the second video and you go upstairs and go to bed, correct?
I apparently went upstairs and I used the phone to make a phone call.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep.
All right. And at the point in time when you left and went upstairs, he was still inside the suitcase, correct?
Correct.
Was he still asking for you and calling your name?
Not that I can recall.
Did you say shh to him again?
I don't remember.
Did you tell him that this was his problem and it's on you again?
I don't remember.
Did you do anything to help him escape from the predicament that you zipped him up in?
No.
No other questions.
Any redirect examination?
Can we get a standing ovation, please?
Ms. Boone, he just asked you the question that you poked him and you didn't poke it. You poked, every time you poked him hard with the bat, he was inside the briefcase,
The suitcase, yes.
the suitcase. But you remember when he put his hand out, did you not hit him in the hand outside the suitcase?
Yes.
Okay. So that was the only time the bat touched Mr. Torres's body outside the suitcase,
Yes.
was when you hit him with a hand. But all the other injuries were with you poking him pretty hard. I mean, you bruised your hand, correct? Doing that. Thank you.
Jay said
Ma'am, you can
hit,
return to council's table.
and Owen says poke.
Judge.
You notice that?
Just a moment. Let me get her situated at table, and then we can approach.
Sorry, I'm talking loud. I got my headphones on both ears. Oh, talk about being poked. Girl, you're poked. You are poked on that one.
All right, come on up, y'all.
Oh my gosh. R. Lon Hubbard. Is that really your name? That's funny. Well, how is this helping her? It's not. It's not. That's why we're all happy. We need a paperclip emoji, and we need, let me make notes, paperclip emoji. What was the other one? A zipper emoji. Note to self. Oh, she's going to get convicted way quicker than I thought she was. Okay. Yes, that's true. Aiden K says, please remember that the state still has the rebuttal case. Yes, they do. Finally, talk about a parachute, Scottish lass. Oh, do you want to see it? Let's do the parachute. Just for shoots and giggles. Get it? Hang on. It's not right at my fingertips. Woo! There they come. They're going to get blown away by the prosecution, though, when that wind gust comes sweet. It's called the Hurricane J. Tropical Storm J. It's about time, you guys. It is so about time. And you know what the cool thing is he played Owen's game on that, because Owens kept playing like a dummy. And Jay says, all right, two can play at that game. I'm going to pull back a little bit. But when I move forward, you better hold your hat. Yes, Sarah, quit turning around. Stay straight. Don't turn around. Carrie, do you still think Sarah's going to sleep good tonight? I hope she sleeps well tonight. She's going to need it. Note to Carrie, we need another one of your jingles. A jingle? Oh. Oh, God, don't put me on the spot like that. I won't be able to think of anything. I knew when he brought up the women at the very first part. I'm like, oh, he's trying to ruffle
Members
her
of the
flat
jury,
feathers.
thank you so much. It is 5:42. At this point in time, the court's going to go into recess for the evening. I thank you again
Thank you,
for your
Blanco.
continued service and your attention in this matter. We're going to start tomorrow again at 9 a.m. here in 12 Alpha at the Orange County Courthouse. I'll read you another instruction. I know you've heard it. I'm sure you're sick of it, but I got to keep reading it. So thank you. Jurors, you must not conduct any investigation on your own. This includes reading newspapers, watching television, or using a computer, cell phone, the internet, any electronic device, or any other means at all to get information related to this case or the people and places involved in this case. This applies whether you are at the courthouse, at home, or anywhere else. You must not visit places mentioned in the trial or use the internet to look at maps or pictures to see any place discussed during the trial. Jurors do not watch local news or read local newspapers. Jurors must not have discussions of any sort with friends, family members,
Look at
or even
Owen.
your fellow jurors
He's
about
mad.
the case or the people and places involved. So do not let anyone make comments to you or ask questions about the trial. I want to stress again that just as you must not talk about this case face to face, you must not talk about this case by using an electronic device. You must not use phones, computers, or other electronic devices to communicate. Do not send or accept any messages related to this case or your jury service. Do not discuss this case or ask for advice by any means at all, including posting information on an internet website, chat room, or blog. With that, members of the jury, I'm going to excuse you for the balance of the evening, and thank you so much.
Owens is totally pouting right now. FedEx has suspended Owen's account after this defamation. Cheryl. Go down to the quickie print. You can't come here no more. We were having a good day. It was such a good day. It was such a good day. Thank you,
Suited,
Mod.
thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with us all day today again.
With regards to
Since you
these
don't
medical
unzip, we
records,
cannot
the
acquit.
court previously today had required by 5 p.m. to address those. Unfortunately, they have not yet been addressed. It is imperative that the state knows what it is we're culling down or redacting. And I understand that you may want to be seeking those into evidence maybe tomorrow, and the state needs to be advised as to what it is that you're seeking to utilize. So where are we in figuring that out?
Can I have 1 minute with the client?
Yes, sir.
I forget what they're holding up on this time. Yeah, you guys, please, if you don't mind, hit that like button on your way out. Hey, Drunky the Bear, thank you so much for your super chat. She said, thank you, Carrie, for everything and all your work. This is a great group of people. It says, and I'm happy to watch this with you all. Justice for George. What was it that they were waiting? Oh, it had something to do with the medical records, didn't it? Yeah, thank you, Elise. They were supposed to break things down because they still had them in like little JPEG images. Oh, it was supposed to not be on a floppy disk. It was supposed to be, no, I'm sorry. It was not supposed to be on a thumb drive. It was supposed to be on a CD. Am I right? I just don't even know anymore. Thank you, Thumpa Harley.
Judge, we've had discussions with Ms. Boone, and she claims that every time that he went to the hospital and the medical records would show that it was in relation to some type of domestic violence involving her, we've expressed to her that we do not wish to pursue it and introduce those records of Jorge Torrez, of his medical records of the different times he went as it relates to their difficulties. Do you understand that?
Okay. Ma'am, earlier we had discussed, anything else to add to that, Mr. Owens?
Just that I've explained to her that the lawyers make those decisions.
Okay.
And I believe she's in agreement now. I just wanted to get it on the record.
Understood. All right. So ma'am, I just got a couple follow-up questions, similar to other conversations we've had over the last couple of days. I don't want to know about the specifics of any conversations you've had with you and your attorneys, just whether or not you've had them. You recall earlier today, I'd asked you questions about certain rights that you had the ability to decide. Do you recall that conversation that we had, ma'am? It was before you testified.
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall that I advised you that the lawyers get to make most of the strategy determinations at trial? Do you recall that?
I do.
And do you recall that you said you understood that?
Yes,
And do you also recall that I advised you of certain rights that you have? Do you recall that?
I do.
And one of those rights was the right to testify or remain silent. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And did you understand that?
Yes.
So this decision is a trial decision as to whether or not there's certain evidence that your lawyers are going to seek to utilize in your defense. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that they are exercising that trial strategy at this time not to pursue those medical records?
I do.
Okay. Do you have any questions about that?
I don't.
Are you on board with that strategy?
I am.
Are you still on board with the strategy utilized in your defense?
All of it, yes.
Are you satisfied with your lawyer's representation of you in this matter?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. State, anything else we need to address before we
My
retire
understanding,
for the evening?
sorry,
That's okay.
my understanding is the last civilian witness they intend on calling is arriving at MCO at 9:03 in the morning tomorrow.
It was either 9:03 or 9:05. Yes.
And plan will be to depose her in the evening at 5:30.
Okay.
Then, just scheduling purposes, we're trying to figure out when we would need our rebuttal expert, Dr. Werner, to appear.
I know Mr. Owens had said they were endeavoring to finish by Friday, but I don't know if Dr. Harper's availability issues for tomorrow is going to change that anticipated timeframe.
I'll try to reach out to her by text. That's usually how we communicate. But
Well, assuming she testifies on Thursday, are you still in a position to rest on Friday, or would that kick us to the next week, sir?
well, no, I want to finish this week if at all possible. If I'm hoping that Dr. Harper could be here tomorrow when Dr. Brannon is here, but let's just say she's tied up in.
Let's do worst case scenario.
Okay. She's Thursday morning. I think we would try to finish our case right then and give the state a chance to rebut. I would say Thursday. I would have,
Okay, my understanding is our expert can't be here in the afternoon on Thursday. I'm gonna have to check her availability for Friday.
If you would be so kind and we can address that tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else, state? Anything else from the defense? All right, the court will be in recess till, yes, sir.
I'm sorry, just to give everybody some scheduling, this might help everyone with schedule. There are going to be 2 officers here in the morning who are going to be ready to testify. There will also be some other witnesses, officers, like the detective who testified, that I need to call back because of some impeachment issues of one of the witnesses. And then we'll get into everybody else's witnesses stuff. There's about 3 or 4 that I have in the morning time that we'll be proceeding on. Then we'll go from there.
Okay, all right, appreciate the lay of the land. All right, we will see you all. That's what, one more, Mr. Owens. Yes, sir.
This flying in from New Jersey, I think, is Wednesday at 9 a.m. I think the flight, she's scheduled to fly out Thursday at 9 a.m. So if there's any way we could depose her, maybe in the morning or at lunch, and then have her testify Wednesday afternoon.
That's an unreasonable demand on my time, given everything I've been doing to make sure that we can get this pushed through. I need to do things like get ready for expert cross-examinations and other things need to get accomplished at lunchtime. Happy to do it in the evening. My understanding that she was supposed to be coming in today so that we could do it tonight, and that didn't happen. But I don't think I should be forced to accommodate a lunchtime deposition.
Anything further?
I'm just telling you what our plans were.
Deposition will be at, 5:30 tomorrow or at any other, if we got to have it later, depending on how we go. We'll address it at that time. All right, thank you both very much. We will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Court's in recess.
Were they talking about Pearl Walker? I thought they did her deposition at 6 a.m. this morning. I'm confused about that. Maybe they're talking about something different. Rebecca, thank you so much for your super chat. Justice for George. Well, you guys, I know we're going to sleep a lot better tonight. I know we are. Kathleen said, thanks, Carrie. Amazing coverage on this clown show. It was tough going there for a bit, but I'm starting to feel a lot better. And I know you guys are too. And it makes me happy to get up in the morning and do this again, because now we're starting to see a difference. I mean, tomorrow's going to be a little frustrating because Henderson is obviously going to get up there and do some of his testifying. And as like y'all like to say, he rides in the slow lane. So it'll take forever to get through those 2 officers. Who do you guys think he's trying to impeach? Do you think he's going after Kepsel? I'm trying to think of who he would impeach. And I'm surprised also they didn't bring Lowen in. I guess they didn't need to with Kepsel there, but maybe if we're lucky, they'll bring in one of these officers that comes in during the body cam footage incidents, and we get to see one of those, because as we know, those always turn out so good. Not for George at the end, but it's going to look really good to the jury on Sarah's part. All right. Well, do y'all want to wait around to see her exit before I log out? It's not going to be a graceful exit. But guess what? Okay. Guess what picture is going to be on all the headlines tonight? Them with that suitcase on the floor of the courtroom. That's right. Baba Gadoosh. Night, night. Night, night, Sarah. Don't let your bedmates bite. Oh, Bob Kitten. Bob Kitten's getting rough. I don't think I've ever seen her like this. Take her to the basement, Christine says. Take it. Drop her off. Don't let her come back out. D. Bullard, I know that this is a super day, so thank you, Miss Carrie and Carrie Peeps. Yes, it was a super day. Thank you, Laura, Bama, and Mel for being here with us today and taking care of our chat, making sure that we have a safe space to hang out. I appreciate you guys more than you know. I'll be looking for our winners in my email. So until then, we'll be back again at 8:45 in the morning, right here, same bat channel, same bat time. Have a blessed evening, y'all.